quick points, because, Madam Speaker, with reference to this resolution before the House regarding the negotiations with the World Bank, the people of Dominica were advised a couple of months ago that the World Bank had provided a financing package of $65 million US, 40 million of which was for housing and 25 for agriculture and related purposes. I think, Madam Speaker, that this earlier announcement from the government and the World Bank is what is before us today, but the numbers are a little bit different, where we're hearing now that the housing is $80.2 million, of which $27.8 million is a loan and $53 million a grant. So 40 million translates into 109, 108 million thereabout. So it seems that the numbers have come down in time when we really need the money. So maybe in wrapping up, Honorable Deputy Prime Minister, that'd be good, yes.
Madam Speaker, I believe that the member, the leader of the opposition, should probably await the second resolution, and I believe his comments would be better placed after hearing the second resolution. There is another resolution coming, and I believe, rather than read and not read properly, I believe that the leader of the opposition will probably wait on the second resolution, and he'll have sufficient time to make those comments when he comes to debate the second resolution.
Madam Speaker, and this will come as a surprise to the members of the other side, Madam Speaker. I have read the second resolution. Yeah, I've read it. You're shocked, right? I have read the second resolution. And the second resolution speaks to an amount of $67.1 million funding of emergency agricultural livelihoods and climate resilience project. That $67.1 million is in the region of 25 million US. So it is consistent with the public announcement made by the government and the World Bank a couple of months ago. I'm simply pointing to the inconsistency in the housing component, where $109 million was announced, but we see now $80.2 million. That's all I'm saying. So if there's some additional money somewhere for housing, it's to the benefit of everybody. And that's all I'm pointing out. I'm also pointing out, Madam Speaker, the honorable member's reference to the second resolution gives me the opportunity. No, but I just want to say this. Madam Speaker. In the housing provision,
because of the way they're tied up, I'm allowing you to make your very brief remark on that question.
It is
by the rules really say that you shouldn't be preempting and so on. But go ahead. I'm allowing you.
Speaker, trust me.
Briefer? Promise me you said brief.
Right, because I'm saying that the housing provision is 80.2 million, and of that, the loan component is 27 million. The grant is 66% or 53.2 million. So you have loans at 34% under the housing and grants at 66%. But under the climate resilience agricultural livelihoods projects, you have loans at 20% and grants at 80%. And I'm just asking whether this is the best the government could do. Couldn't we get both financing packages at the same 80-20 split? Because had we been able to achieve that, you would have had, with $27 million at 20% of your packaging, you would have had an additional 50 million or thereabout for housing, which we badly need in Dominica. And just to say, Madam Speaker, maybe it is not too late that the World Bank can be asked a question about that. Can the World Bank consider at this stage revising the split between loan and grant, and on the housing, the funding of housing recovery project, give us a 20-80 split, where 20% is the 27 million, the 80% will be $108 million. Madam Speaker, what the matter before the House establishes is that we're dealing with the money belonging to the people of Dominica, whether it comes from loans or grants, whether it comes from the sale of citizenship, whatever source it comes from and ends up in the custody of the government for the exercise of the fiduciary responsibility to the people of Dominica to help in a post-disaster period. We're dealing with the resources and the monies that belong to the people of the Commonwealth of Dominica. And so I think as we're discussing this, it is good to remind the government, the people occupying the seat of government right now, that the money belongs to all, the disaster affected all, and all should benefit based on the level of their need. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Madam Speaker, I want to begin by saying, Madam Speaker, that there was in fact an error in the calculations in the resolution. In fact, Madam Speaker, 27 SDRs is equivalent to $40 million US dollars, and $40 million US dollars does translate to 108 million EC dollars. So there was a slight typo in the maths, Madam Speaker. And Madam Speaker, it appears to me that the leader of the opposition, he took some time to read the entire document, Madam Speaker. Because you know, Madam Speaker, he have a history, Madam Speaker, of not reading entire documents, Madam Speaker. And so finding himself having to apologize for not reading. So I think he didn't take any chances in this parliament, Madam Speaker. He didn't take any chances today, Madam Speaker. So he must have read this thing over and over and over, Madam Speaker. Over and over, Madam Speaker. Of all the things in the resolution, he picked up this one, Madam Speaker. So it looked like we really have some work in progress, Madam Speaker.